Happy birthday, Lati. I love you, my brother, and you know that.
Not like that. I don't love you.
Why you say that? But Lati, I love you. Happy birthday. Huh? Go check out. I'll give you that. Oh, that birthday gift you want? Yeah. You are such. Good body. Yes, sir. I'm gonna put my grandpa on the
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, the voices you heard were the voices of Yoruba Afrobeat star Davido Adeleke and his friends after his celebrity marriage to Igbo chef Chioma Roland. The press reported that Davido good-naturedly, not like he was doing it as a sort of, the press used the language lamented, but it was in a good-natured way. He's so happy with the girl, so it wasn't as if he was actually complaining or lamenting that he married an Igbo woman, but he was telling his friends that if you want to marry an Igbo woman, you have to be strong. The language, the paper that reported it, the word the paper that reported it used was that it's challenging to marry into the Igbo people. And I feel that this merits a conversation, because Davido definitely passed through something, but I don't know if he understood the full ramifications of what he passed through. And I am not sure as well that the girl also understood everything that happened. I'll get to other dimensions of the marriage. I hope to anyway. Davido is a Yoruba guy. He felt that the Igbo marriage is challenging. Let's use the present tense because the Igbo marriage remains the Igbo marriage. And why did he feel it was challenging? Because he compared it to the Yoruba marriage. The Yoruba marriage is very straightforward compared to the Igbo marriage. Very simple. There is a phrase that some Yorubas I went to law school with told me could stand for some marriages of the Yoruba people. They said it's wabami joko. Wabami joko. Come and let's live together. They say that if a Yoruba man successfully invites, let's say, a Yoruba woman, because that's where I believe this custom would work most easily. If a Yoruba man invites a Yoruba woman to come and live with him and they live together and they have children, that man is entitled. That man is legally, by Yoruba custom, culture, religion, and traditions, that child that came out of that union is a child. That man is the father of that child. Hold on, wait a minute. The opposite is the case the opposite is if it's the Igbo case. If an Igbo man fathers 20 children for an Igbo woman, but he did not pay the bride price of that woman, the children are not his own. The Igbos will merely describe him as Bi Nabeu, the goats that produce children for the she-goats. The children belong to the father of that woman that produced that the father of the woman, the man produced the children through. Can you see the differences? While to the Yorubas, if there is a relationship, a love affair, and the child comes, that child belongs to the man, even if he married the woman or did not marry the woman. While in the case of the Igbos, for the child to be the child of that man whose seed produced the child, he must have gone through a very valid marriage to that woman. And the Igbo marriage is never ever valid until the woman accepts a cup of wine from the man in public, accepts a cup of wine from the father, and gives it to the man. This must be in public. So I am not surprised that Davido found the Igbo marriage traditions to be challenging. Because on another note, the Igbo marriage, I saw an article attributed to, I don't know if she actually said those words. An article was attributed to, anyway, the context is also different. A statement was attributed to the Chioma. The press wanted to know about her husband, and she said, well, marriage is a matter between a man and a woman. She doesn't want to talk. Well, in that context, addressing the press, that's fine. But Igbo marriage is not just between a man and a woman, it's between two families, two communities, two republics. If an Nnewi man marries an Ozobo woman, Ozobo and Nnewi have, through that union, become one to an extent. And Igbo marriage cannot take place without the Ikunne of the lady being present. In fact, they have some shares of some of the, like the bride price. Who are the Ndeukunne? The Ndeukunne are the maternal relations of the girl in question. And of course, you cannot approach an Igbo family for marriage without your own kinsmen. Because in fact, the girl is not handed over to you. The girl is handed over to the oldest member of your own family. She is just your wife on matters of the other room. She is just your wife exclusively on matters pertaining to the other room. But apart from that, she is the wife of the family. I will repeat what I said. If you marry an Igbo woman, even if you are an Igbo man, that girl you married is your wife exclusively only in one area. That area is a matters pertaining to the other room, that is sexuality. But otherwise, she is a wife of that family that you belong to. So on the day of the marriage, the girl is handed over to your, if your father came with you, the girl is handed over to your father. If your uncle came with you, the girl is handed over to the uncle, not to you. You are not the head of the family. Because if things don't work out, those people must be present when the marriage will be dissolved. And when I say dissolved in this case, I'm only being technical because an Igbo marriage is not dissolved even by death. The Igbo marriage continues even after death of both people. So, this is what Davido, probably things have changed. Due to life exigencies, a lot of Igbos are no longer at home. People cut corners, but definitely the rudiments of the marriage still remain, and it is vastly different from the Yoruba marriage. So that's why Davido found it challenging. Like I said, if Chioma was an Igbo girl, and they had children. They had one son who died, and I think a girl followed. The children are practically Davido's. But if he did not go ahead to conduct this marriage, in the eyes of the Igbos, the two children don't belong to him. That is as far as it goes. I decided to use this opportunity to tell us about the very beautiful diversity we find in the cultures of Nigeria. You could see there are up to 300 different nations in Nigeria. I just talked about the two, and you can see how different their marriages are. The diversity is one of the things that make the country beautiful. Thank you. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.